Good day, Radical Birthkeeper Martha here. This is for the Matrona class with WAPIO, Holistic Midwifery / Holistic Birthkeeper course, Module 5, Newborn Breathing. Basic concept is this: the newborn is in there in the water for however many weeks, we'll say 35 to 44 weeks, and then labor begins. There's some theories that the labor begins because of the fetal lungs initiate labor, basically saying, yeah, I've had enough in here. It's time to get out. And they're also they have this, it's succulent, I don't know if I'm saying the right word, but a succulent thing like around their lungs, so that protects them. And then so labor begins, and in undisturbed birth, the baby and the mother move in just the right way with each other. And then oftentimes when baby is coming down towards the end of labor, maybe around the time of crowning or just before, there might be some pressure from the cord, or just the general squeezing and the fact of having a lot of sometimes hard, long contractions may cause a little bit of rise in CO2 level in the baby. So we've got those CO2 receptors in our carotids. And again, when baby's undisturbed, it's almost always fine. And that's why there's that rest at the end. There's two stages of pushing, one being where there's usually a little bit of a rest, and then things pick up and baby's born. Baby emerges. If it's physiologic birth, they're allowed to restitute and have their shoulders come at just the right way instead of being pulled out. So if the baby's allowed to do that, then the baby's almost always fine. The mom's fine. Baby's born. They've still got a lot of fluid in their lungs. It takes a while. And again, there's a variation of normal here. I think it's something like, right away, maybe 60% of the fluid's still there. And then some babies pretty soon after, and other babies maybe a few hours or a day to get the bulk of the fluid out. That's why you might hear that a little bit. They're just clearing their fluids. And again, some babies I've witnessed in undisturbed birth, they come out, they're like pinking up and starting to cry when their feet are still in the womb. And that's a beautiful variation of normal. And obviously if they're crying, they're breathing. Some babies, and they're gray, and so they're still getting the oxygen from the cord if they're born and they're grayish and limp, and they may not be breathing at that time. As a birth keeper, I do suggest quick check at the cord. The cord's pulsing, and the cord's blue, that's great. But if the cord itself is drying out, I shouldn't say drying out. If the cord itself is not pulsing and turning gray, then that means baby's soon not going to be getting oxygen from the cord. So then you want to make sure you give some breath and if there's no heartbeat, the chest compressions. Again, in undisturbed birth, almost never will that happen. And so the key for safety is leave mom and baby alone. Mom will pick up baby, snuggle baby. Most of the times that's it. Baby will come around. Occasionally a mother will intuitively suck some mucus out of the baby, or maybe give a few breaths, or do the thing where you put the baby's head upside down. And that's physiologic birth. To remember, in hospital, this does not happen. So amazingly, a lot of babies, despite the abuse that they've had during labor, still come out okay. But many don't. And then the sad part is even the cord's cut right away, which is basically as if my cat here, or my husband was home, he's not home, but came up and started strangling me while I was choking. That's what's done in the hospital a lot to the low APGAR babies. It's extremely abusive. Causes all kinds of problems for mom and baby. Mom and baby need to be together. So, physiologic birth. Peace, love.